Yo, what's happening, everybody? Straw Hat Central here, bringing you guys another match analysis. But today is a special one. A lot of you guys have been asking in the comments about the Eno versus Chipp matchup, and I said I'm gonna bring it to you.
Oh, say less.
But a lot of you guys have also been asking about me reviewing gameplay of other Chipp players. And today we're gonna be looking at one of my favorite Chipp players, the Premier Summit.
That once he gets started, it is almost impossible to get him away from you. He has really good open steel. I mean, just the pressure he's able to put on you, those teleports. And this man has been doing it for quite some time. He knows how to keep it going. And he's rocking the classic green and white outfit. That's how you know who you're looking at. But yeah, man, Chipp is one of those characters.
So before we go into this match, one of the things I want to point out off rip is that Eno is a character that does not have a run. So what that means is that while most characters will approach you like this, Eno wants to approach you more like this. Eno wants to approach you more like that. And so while you will cover people that run at you by holding that ground by using, moves like 6P, far slash, heavy slash, 6 heavy slash, things like that take up a lot of space in front of Chipp. The game against Eno is a little bit differently, where your best friend is still going to be 6P, yes, but 5P is amazing against Eno because she likes to approach you from the air and like upper body area, right? This mid range, but the hitbox of 5P tends to hit right around here for Chipp. And it's a really fast move. I think it's either 2 to 3 frames, but it's one of the fastest punches in the entire game. The trade-off for it is that it doesn't hit low, but it will catch. Like, his punches don't hit low, but his standing punch will definitely get someone out the air. So it's a great way to be able to check your opponent if you feel like you don't have enough time to get off 6P, or if you just kind of want to mash it to get someone out. Really great option to get Eno out. Another thing that you're going to see a lot too against Enos and Milia's, characters that like to be in the air, is that preemptively using jumping K is a godsend move. It helps prevent your opponent from air grabbing you. And it also helps prevent them from getting in on you. So if you're jumping or want to maneuver around, using jumping K whenever you're like getting off the ground is a great way of just keeping your opponent off of you and not letting them get close enough for that grab or starting their pressure if you accidentally come across each other. One time I would say, like, you shouldn't use jump K is just if, you're going for an air throw, because obviously if you commit to a jumping K, then you can't get a throw. So more in that way if you're nice like that, going for those air throws. But that's something I want to point out on the front end, because we're going to see that a lot from Summit in this matchup, and something that I think you guys should be trying to implement in your game as well against Eno. So moving along, we see that Summit immediately went in. So in most cases, a round start with Chipp, you kind of want to play it a little defensively with like a bad dash or air bad dash. But against Eno doesn't have a really good round start kit. The most she could really do to you is like Chemical Love or Stroke the Big Tree. Now she has defensive options on round start, but she doesn't really have anything oppressive on round start. Stroke the Big Tree is slow, so you can interrupt that with 2K or 2D. And Chemical Love, she can't really convert that into anything, so just standalone damage can come off of you. So in this situation, like, the trade-off was better for him to just go for it. It was more in his favor in that way. So he starts his typical Gatling to Resho. There we see jumping K preemptively to try to keep Eno from, crouching on his space. Even now he's preemptively using jumping K because he doesn't know when Eno's going to approach. Eno's in the air. He meets Eno in the air, but he bad dashes again, jumping K. So he's throwing that jumping K out to keep Eno out. You're going to see that as a trend. So, Eno wants to, you don't have to worry about Stroke the Big Tree, which is the move that Eno just did if you're in the air. So Eno doesn't really have a lot of things to deal with Chipp in the air. All she can really do is like anti-air him well. And especially if you're putting those jump Ks in front of you, she can't even air throw you in most cases unless they're really good. So here, jump 2K, drill kit, going to 2K, So drill kick is plus. That's something I want to point out here. And here, Summit tried, his typical Gatling is to go from jumping 2K into 2K. Check his opponent. There, he ran up and went for a grab because 2K has really low recovery, so you're able to just dash after that if you time it properly to continue your pressure. He went in and grabbed there. Then went for the low. So here he's approaching. And this is something I want to point out to everyone that I've been saying in a lot of the match analysis is that 6P is a godsend button as well, where it's a great way of just running in and taking your turn. So if you guys don't know, Chipp 6P has upper body invulnerability, which means that everything above the waist is basically invulnerable. It can't be touched. And this is very important in neutral because you can just run up and take your turn if you plan on like clashing with like a sword or like any move. In this case, 6P beat the note because the note was right now like on Chipp's upper body. So because the note was on Chipp's upper body, 6P just beat it in this situation. And if the note was lower, like, below his waist, then 6P would lose in this situation. But if you're suspecting that your opponent's going to throw out a big button, like a huge mid, 6P is a great way to just come in and oppose your will on your opponent, especially like using that momentum and speed of Chipp. One thing I will warn you about though is that 6P will lose against opponents mashing like a low hitting move like a 2P or a 2K. That is the kryptonite of this move. So more advanced or experienced players will be using low hitting moves to go ahead and beat Chipp out of this. So Summit, was nice of him to use that. He used the OTG 2/ there to try to like get some kind of mix. The second hit of Rusho can be interrupted if you don't want to commit to that overhead. So he went for the red Roman cancel. And one thing I want to point out here is that after the red Roman cancel, he went ahead and committed with the punching Alpha Blade cross up and the wall clean. And the reason why he went for this is because on the opponent's end, the red Roman cancel is a scary place to be in. Chipp has a whole bunch of options and he's super plus. So he can go for a command grab in that situation, go for a high-low mix-up, really anything. And being in that position of a Roman cancel, no one is going to mash in that situation. No one in their right mind is going to mash. And even then, it's still safe because the Roman cancel slows down your opponent. So with that, he's able to go ahead and get behind for that mix. And here I want to point out that he ended this combo with the grounded Alpha Blade, the punch Alpha Blade, because he wants to get back on the other side. He wants to put Eno in the corner. The thing about the air Alpha Blade is that, yes, he will continue the combo, but Eno will be pushing mid-screen in most situations. This was a great way of just confirming and getting Eno back in that corner because once Chipp gets to someone, he wants to stick to them. So he wants to put Eno back in the corner to continue running that mix that he was just running. One thing I want to point out too is that Summit is also using great Gatling confirms. He did 5K directly into 2K. He's not doing multiple 5Ks. A lot of Chipps make the mistake of doing multiple 5Ks to give themselves time to think about what they're going to do next. But Summit does a really good job of making the most out of his confirms and confirming into like command moves. So that's either confirming into 2K or confirming into 6K. 6K is an overhead, 2K is a low, and he's making the most of it. Right now he's doing wall combos, of course. Go ahead and get that corner, get that meter. Again, he's doing a lot of air checks. He's using that jumping K button to really take care of that space in front of him and cover his butt when he's doing approaching him in the air. But the thing about it is that as a Chipp player, what you're checking the Eno skill on is like their ability to anti-air you with their 6P. So you have 3 jumps. And that's your role to try to mix up their 6P timing with your multiple jumps. Here, HiFight definitely has the ability to 6P Samito, and he proved it right there. So right here is a terrible position to be in. A lot of people want matchup analysis because they want a way to be able to beat these messed up situations that Guilty Gear characters can put you in, because that's really the name of the game. But the thing is that really, hopefully when Eno puts you in a position like this where you're blocking and you have to block her high-low mix-up, you're really just praying. And the biggest game plan against this is to avoid being put in this situation. So the reason why Summit is jumping so much is to prevent being locked down on the ground in this situation right here. Because once you get put in this situation, you have to use all of your resources, either using like yellow Roman cancel, a back dash, or trying to jump out of it, or even bursting, even before you take a lot of damage, just because you don't want to get put you don't want to get put in a situation right here where you're repeatedly getting knocked down by Eno and forced to hold these notes. It's a really tough situation to deal with. And honestly, it takes a little bit of luck to get out of the situation. So here, Summon's trying to get out of the situation any way he can. And he goes for a back dash and it works out for him. Yes, he is an amazing player, God level player. But at the end of the day, when you get it put in these positions, like, you're really just guessing. And the way that Guilty Gear works is that every character has like their win conditions and stuff that they want to set up. And as a Chipp player more than anyone else, because your health is so low, your job is to avoid being put in that situation. And so here was a moment where he was put in it and he was saved by the bell. He got out of there. Again, he's doing that forward Roman cancel mix. One thing I want to point out is that Jump 2K is plus, and something that he's been setting up this entire game is that he'll do drill kick, which is Jump 2K, and use 2K after to see if HiFight is going to block it. And he's been blocking it pretty consistently outside of that first round. So he knows he's going to block after seeing drill kick. So he tried to catch him off guard by going to grab him after. You can't go in for a grab after that unless your opponent is respecting your options after that. So if your opponent is consistently blocking whatever you do after drill kick, then you can mix in a grab after. But if they're not blocking whatever you're doing next, then go ahead and continue to do that. You have to cycle through your options, but you can't skip and just go straight to trying to grab an opponent when they haven't even proved that they can block it yet. So that's one thing I want to point out. It didn't work out there, but it did there. Tried to send out the note. He says, I'm not catching that, but he got anti-air with 6P, of course. Again, he's trying to get in. That was a great Gatling from 5K into 2K. Again, he's confirming it. If you now look at it, he's going back to confirming from drill kick into 2K. He's probably going to do it here. Yep. So he's doing drill kick back into 2K. He's trying to condition the HiFight back into blocking after drill kick. And then that'll set up the ability to go for a grab after later. But for now, he's going back to that option. He realized HiFight was still worried about it. So now we're on to the next match. So here, Eno met him air to air. So last round, Summit just went straight in with the air dash. This was Eno's answer for that from the last round. So, you have to be cycling through your round start options. Even if something seems good, you're playing with another person. So they're going to remember what you did next. And HiFight made a great adaptation. One thing I want to point out is whenever you see that aerial move that Eno does when she spins and come at you, you have to contest it. That hop after it with the button. So especially 5P is really good in this situation because it's so fast and hits in that perfect range. Like I was saying earlier, where, it hits perfectly in the area that you need it to. So in this situation, he went ahead and he contested it with 5K, which tended to work out. They traded, but he avoided getting put in that mid situation that we hate so much. So here, it resets back to neutral. Now he's running his pressure. So now HiFight is going to think twice before he goes for that spinning move again on Summit, because he went for it and Summit mashed after, he lost his turn and now Summit is running his pressure. Again, great confirm from 5K into 2K. I'm a super fan of going from when you have that corner pressure, just stopping it early and going for the kick alpha blade, because it allows you to, even if your opponent is mashing, he was checking for his opponent to mash right there. So he goes above him, cleans to the wall. If his opponent mash, he can land back down with the move like he just did, continue running his pressure. So that's a great way of checking for your either opponent to jump out or to beat mashing opponents. I go over this a little bit in my wall running 101 tutorial, just something there, but I wanted to point it out there that is something that he's doing right there. I don't know if he knows about like grabbing afterward yet, but he's definitely like using that to like check if Eno's going to mash for that punching alpha blade. Yeah. 2K. So this time, HiFight said, you might go for a grab right here. I know you're plus after, but I'm going to smash anyways. So here, this is just letting like Summit know that, hey, like I know drill move is plus, but I'm still just not going to let you always press buttons after. So now he's put in that messed up situation. Summit is FDing because he's trying to push Eno out. He gets caught. We're all going to get caught. So he tries to DP out of it. So he's doing everything he can to try to get out of it. Now he had the chance to jump out of it. So when Eno puts you in this situation and she's running her offense, don't give up. Keep looking for a way to get out. Summit first tried FDing, it didn't work. He got put down in the midst again. He tried DPing, it didn't work. He got put back in the midst again. This time he jumped out of it. So it's like you have to keep trying to get out of it, guys. You can't just give up on it. Jump 2K. He catches the burst. Combo shenanigans. Does he block it? He blocks Eno's DP. He DPs after because Eno was about to set up that ridiculous offense that she does. He doesn't want to hold that. He doesn't want to get put in that situation, so he just DPs. Now it's his turn to run his offense, but HiFight isn't having it. Full screen, nope, that's not going to hit me. I'm Chipp. But then he just punished that. Great punish on his part. So he's playing really good, but it's really important to know what's leading to the combos. The combos are nice. We love the combos, but the most important pieces are these little things that's getting him these combos. So let's see what we do on round start here. Again, jump 2K. He didn't want to commit to the air dash, but he did jump 2K to cover his ass. Again, jump 2K. He's staying in the air because he doesn't want to get put in that messed up, nasty situation. Oh, disgusting confirmed. Crazy confirmed. Again, jump K to try to catch him jumping out of the corner. Jump K. Go ahead and break that wall. Get that meter bonus. Reset back to neutral. Let's see what happens here. He goes for note. He low profiled the note. So even, not the note, but the chemical love. So this is something that you guys should really pay, when you're playing your matches, you got to pay attention to the little things, because here we see that crouching slash goes under note. So that's another reason why round start, chemical love ain't it. Because he went straight under it and then got the counter hit. So that's some key knowledge to know. If you're running pressure and you think that this Eno is going to run chemical love, a great way of beating it is going for that crouching slash, because it will beat it. And then you can go ahead and confirm that into heavy slash, and now you're free. That blue Roman cancel to slow everything down and continue that combo. And then boom, you just go ahead and win slash, finish that off. So another round start. Again, stroke the bit tree. So her only real options is to try to meet you in the air, maybe air throw you or something, maybe use chemical love or stroke the bit tree, but he air dashes it. So even though he didn't get the hit, he didn't get hit either. So he's full screen, he's working his way in, he's jumping around. So he's threatening 6P. His 6P is out right now. He just happened to do it a little too early, but he's ready for it. So a great way to help yourself out is whenever you see Eno in the air, just go ahead and either start getting that 6P ready for him, or meeting them in the air with jumping K, or going ahead and mashing 5P. Those are your ways to go ahead and contest that air in front of Chipp's face. He's put in that nasty situation. He's bat dashing. He's trying to get out. He's getting hit. He's bursting. He's like, I don't want to hold that. And neither should you. Getting jumping K. He got anti-air. So it looks like Summit is doing a lot, but what he's doing is just, he's making sure he's disciplining himself not to do multiple 5Ks. And that's why his pressure looks so different compared to with the Chipps that you see online a lot of times, because, they're thinking it's oh, I'm processing. Let me think what I do next. 5K, 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 command grab. It's like, no, 5K, 6K, 5K, 2K. It's really important to have that in your game, because that's what's going to make you deadly and make you overwhelming. 2K. So jump 2K, 2K, then run up grab. Cool. So after a grab in the corner, Chipp is free to run mix. It puts your opponent far and deep into the corner. So from there, he could have did punch alpha blade. He could have did kick alpha blade, clang on the wall, came back down. He could have ran up command grab, but instead he chose to go for a mix. So going for OTG, which makes Eno get up faster than she expects to get up. And then what does he do after? Then he goes for the mix. So he did that to try to throw off the timing, but HiFight was on and HiFight wasn't having it. Most people, once you set them and make them get up early with an OTG, they're not going to mash it. They're not going to mash after because they wasn't expecting them to get up so early. So now he put himself in the corner. And that's the price you pay for using punch alpha blade too soon without conditioning your opponent. Great burst bait. So instead of contesting with, so sometimes as Chipp, when you're approaching, instead of using 5K, sometimes just go for that alpha blade. If you're so close already, they know you're going to land your move first. So sometimes just mix it up. Instead of using 5K, then alpha blade, just straight up alpha blade. See what they do. Round start. Again, she's trying to catch him on that approach. She didn't have enough time to anti-air, so she just had to hold the block. Again, he's using that jumping K to cover his butt. He wasn't quick enough to mash after catching and identifying that spinning move that does. So HiFight did a really good job of sneaking that in there, and now he snuck a turn. But he used FD to end that pressure. So a great thing to do on offense or defense against Ino is to FD to push her back. And then when she tries to get back in by using stroke the bit tree, which is the move where she slides across the ground, you use 2K to interrupt her, and that was your turn. So that's just a great way of running, like trying to get out of that. Or also trying to fuzzy jump. So like while you're blocking, you're just repeating like down, back, jump, down, back, jump, down, back, jump. You're just repeatedly doing it until you're able to get out of her pressure. So now his turn to run mitts. He did 2 5Ks instead of 1, which, that's not typically like him. You want to try to like keep it down to 1. But, in a real game, it's hard to do that. Here he's going. So here you could use 2K right now and interrupt her. If you're someone watching this, like, how do I deal with this move? 2K in this moment right now would beat it. Let's see what Summit does though. Summit didn't have the reaction times in that moment. He wasn't ready for it, so he had to block it. So it's still her turn. That's the punishment for not being able to stop it. You're in a messed up situation. She did it again. He has to mash here. He didn't mash. But instead he went for a DP. So he didn't mash there, but Ino was going to try to run some untrue pressure. So he snuck the DP in there. Alpha play shenanigans. It's called a reversal. It happens to all of us. So just be cognizant of when your opponent has meters because, that was disgusting. But be cognizant when running mitts against Ino when she has 50% meter, because most Inos are going to just use their super to get them off of you, and you'll probably die for it. Yeah, we've all seen it before. Yo, he's really good at timing that back dash to get out of there. But, one of the biggest things to keep track of is just like how he's cycling through his options on defense to get out of the situation, because you don't want to be in it for long. Again, she anti-aired him really well. So now Summon's backing off because he's like, I probably can't get away with this. But this move right here, the one thing I want to warn you guys about is that this is one of the defensive options that Ino does have at round start, is this spike microphone move, which is I think her 6 heavy slash. It's really good at like catching you when you're trying to air dash at her at round start. So just be very careful with that. I think there was a time in one of these rounds where HiFight tried to use it to catch Summit's round start, but Summit didn't repeat the same option and jump in again, so it didn't do anything. But here, this is something that Ino can use to try to prevent you from jumping in on her. It's full screen note. I'm Chipp. I'm not holding that. 6P. 6P just beat Chemical Love. Like, look at that. Running mitts. Yeah, that wall's definitely gonna break. Indian wall breaks with heavy moves if you can, either heavy slash, 6 heavy slash, or regular heavy slash are the best ways to end your wall breaks because it gets you the most damage. Yeah, 5K to this stuff. Ooh. He bursted immediately. He's like, I'm not trying to hold that. I'm not trying to get into that. So a lot of people is like, man, what is 5P for? 5P is really good at checking Ino, man. It keeps her in that corner. And not in that corner, but it keeps her from like just flying at you willy-nilly. Again, so remember, as a fighting game player, the hardest part about fighting games is not the combo. The hardest part is keeping track about what your opponent can handle and has showed you that they're aware of and what they're not. So again, Summit hasn't used it in a while, but here we have the same situation where he got Summit in the corner with a grab, and he ran up and did OTG kick and then tried to do an alpha blade to get behind him. Again, HiFight was ready for it and mashed him out of it. That's twice that I've noticed it. But from HiFi's perspective, what makes him a great player, in my opinion, in this situation is that he recognized that this is one of Summit's patterns. Like, this is something that he likes to do. So in the game, you have to be able to pick up on your opponent's patterns. You know, they're going to switch it up or whatever, but at the end of the day, they're going to cycle back to it at some point. We're all human. Again, we all catch that work in that corner. Again, Chipp can get out that corner for free. Go ahead and triple jump and alpha blade, my friend. He can go ahead and jump out of there. $6P to God. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's basically the end of the video, man. If you guys enjoyed this, yeah.